Okay, let's get started. So I'm going to start with last week's homework. Yep, I think this was it. Is this it? Nope. Last session, we had we had Y at the end of multi-syllable words. Am I right? Is that right? Yep. Okay. So we have some extra practice. If you remember, Y at the end of longer words makes the long E sound E almost always, as in happy, friendly, crazy, pretty, trendy. All of those words, the Y is at the end. And when Y is at the end of a multi-syllable word, it usually says E. If it's at the end of a very short word, it will probably say, well, it will say I, as in my, try, fly, buy, fry. Once in a while, Y at the end of a longer word will say I, like multiply, but most of the time it will say E. So when I read these words, the Y at the end is going to say E, since that is most common. So number 1 is greely. 2 is bremy. Do you remember the reading hack about the double consonant? If we have 2 of the same letter in the middle of the word, the vowel right before it is going to make its short sound. The short sound for E is E. So that's a reading hack. That's why I knew real fast that that word was bremy. 2 E's say E. So this word is cleepsy. 4 is cheapemtree. 5 is dreampy. 6 is she-temy. 7, tree nesty. 8, plemestreppy. 9, lee-densty. And 10 is fleamby. Those are kind of crazy words, but if you can read those, you can read anything. Right, any questions? If not, let's go on to today's lesson. So today's lesson, we are working on the EY grapheme. It comes at the end of words, and it says E. But first, let's do some phonemic awareness warm-up. This first one, compass, is difficult because there is a schwa sound in it. And schwa sounds, they disappear. They are the disappearing sound. They blend right into the letters before and after it. So there is a schwa sound, right after the k, and right before the s. There's 2 schwa sounds in compass. So if I try to figure out how many sounds, including schwa, are in compass, and put it in the chat. And it's probably more than you think. Try to break it down to the smallest chunks of sound that you possibly can. There's probably more sounds in there than you think. Okay. So I have a lot of guesses in my chat, a lot of them, but very, very few are correct. This is a hard one, so don't feel bad if you didn't get it correct, because this was a difficult one for a lot of people. The sounds in compass are s. 6 sounds. S. Those 2 schwa sounds were tricky. Now there's also a schwa sound in Texas. It's right before the S. Schwa sounds almost always come to almost at the very end of the word. So Texas, there's a And, oh my goodness, why did I pick such a hard one? X has 2 sounds in it. X has a X. So you can break those sounds apart, or you can make it one plain sound, which is the X sound. So how many sounds in Texas? And I'll give it correct. for either way you do the X sound. Let's count it on camera, but. Okay, I'm not having very many people guess on this one because this is probably the most difficult one that we have had so far. Okay. All right, there we go. Here comes some guesses. Nice job, you guys. So Texas. So this first time I'm going to do it with the X sound combined into one grapheme. X, S. So if you said 5, you're correct. If you broke up the two sounds in the X sound, the K, then it would be 6 sounds. So either 5 or 6 is correct. Okay. Salad. Salad has a schwa sound almost to the end, right before the D. Listen for it. Stretch that word out. Salad. Salad. Count the sounds. Put it in the chat when you think you have it so I can see how we're doing. Okay. Salad has D. Let me say it's really slow. Salad. The sounds are S, A, O, A, D. 5 sounds in salad. Now, next time, do you think I should make those easier? Or do you like the challenge? Put in the chat, say it's okay, or it is too hard. Please make it easier. Now, when you say yes, okay, we're going to make yes mean, yes, I want easier ones, or no, I like the challenge. So put yes if you want me to make these phonemic awareness warm-ups easier. Okay, good, you like the challenge. And no if you like the challenge. Okay, good to know. Okay, so we have a lot of, we're doing all right. We like the challenge. Okay, here we go. So to our new rule for the day, EY says E, and it almost always comes at the end of a word. So I am going to give you a couple fun facts today. Get the whiteboard out. So you're going to see EY at the end of words like turkey, because it's Turkey Day next week. No class next week for Thanksgiving. So you'll see that EY at the end of words like turkey or jockey or hockey or birdie, trolley. You see that EY comes at the end of longer words, multi-syllable words. There's only a few words that you'll see an EY at the end of short words, and it says something different. It says A, as in they, hay, gray, they. There's only a handful of EYs at the beginning, at the end of short words, and it will say something different. Usually when you see EY, it'll be at the end of longer words, and it will say E. All right, so let's work on that sound. So your fun fact was, when you see EY at the end of short words like they, have you ever wondered why they is spelled T-H-E-Y? Does anybody just spell it T-H-A-Y just because it should be? it should be spelled T-H-A-Y, am I right? But it's the EY, and now you know why. EY at the end of short words like hey and they says A. At the end of longer words, it says E. All right, let's go back to our lesson. So let me do this with you. I'm going to grab my pencil, and I am still mouseless because I spent a little bit more time in Las Vegas than I usually do. So I'm at a different spot without my mouse. It's hard enough to draw with a mouse. It's super hard to draw with a trackpad. So I apologize in advance for my messy drawing. So first I'm going to circle my vowels. And EY is its own grapheme. It's a vowel team. So we're going to circle it together. And EY at the end is a reading hack that I'm teaching you, and it says the long E sound, so we will mark it like that. Same as last week's Y. When Y comes at the end of a longer word like happy or lucky, Y will say the long E sound. Same if you put the E right before it. The E is basically silent, even though it makes the long E sound when you combine them. So that EY says E, just like the Y said E. So I see this double D. It also follows the tap 2 rule, but when you see two of the same letters, the vowel before it's going to make it short sound. This one I'm going to tap 2, 1, 2. No, there's not another vowel. So no, that will not say its name. It will say its normal eh sound. When I pencil read it, it's eh, d, eh, p, e. Edempri, edempri, edempri. Okay, you try yours. Good job, Sandra. I like that nod that I saw over there. Circle your vowels and mark them. Is this getting easier for you? I know some of you are new and it's going to be a little hard at the beginning, but it gets easier. Trust all the people in this class. They will all tell you that it gets easier. Okay, so when we pencil read this word, it's eh. You don't have to double tap for the double letters. They make the same sound. You only have to tap once. E, p, e, st, e. Epestry. Epestry. How'd you do? Epestry. Be very careful of this TR consonant blend, that it doesn't turn into chur. That is kind of the sloppy way to say it. But to be good readers, you have to be really good pronunciators and get every single sound the way it was meant to be. That's why it's tree, not tree. So epestry. So feel free to say that out loud until you can hear those two sounds, that TR, epestry. All right, let's move on to my number 2. I'm going to circle this E. I already know it's going to make the S sound because I can see those two M's coming right up. And here is the EY at the end. I already know it's going to make the E sound because it's at the end. And we already know that EY says E. So I hope this is starting to get easier for you to see all of these clues to help you know what it's going to say in the word. So you don't have to guess at any word anymore. So here's another TR. So listen for when I say it. I'm going to try to pronounce the T and the so it doesn't get muddled into chur. Okay? Stremmy. 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 Okay, you try yours over here. I think you're going to find the same clues that I saw. Okay, so before I even read this, I'm reading some of your lips. As you're reading this out loud, I'm reading some of your lips. And here is what I think I might have seen as you were sounding it out. And it has to do with this R. Remember, R's, L's, and N's sneak into words when we don't want them to. R, L, and N, I call them the rotten, naughty letters. because they sneak into words and they sneak out of words and they get transposed within words. Now this F, you might be tempted to sneak an R right there. Don't let it in there. Okay. So I'm going to erase that R so you don't even see it. The way you pencil read this word is P-O-F-E. Pleffy. Pleffy. Nice. If you said pleffery, that is a common mistake. It's that R that we want to get out of there. It doesn't belong. It's not pleffery. Get the R out. Pleffy. Pleffy. Okay, let's try the next one. I love these double letter little clues because they just make reading so easy. I already know that that's going to say eh because of those two T's right there. And I already know that that's going to make the long E sound because that's what we are learning today. EY says E. So this one looks like it might be kind of easy. E. Etty. Etty. T. Let's try yours. Oh, by the way, go back to Etty. Sometimes T's, when we pronounce them, they can sound like D's, like pretty. Like if you say pretty, we don't say pretty unless we are really focusing on enunciating and pronouncing our words correctly. T's can sometimes sound like D's when you say them fast in a word, and that's okay because it's so common, but it's more proper to get those T's pronounced the way they were intended. So we should say pretty, you look pretty, but we say pretty. But when you're going to read in our class, let's concentrate on the correct intended pronunciation. Etty. Okay, try yours. Yeah, yeah. I'm seeing your mouths, and I think I'm getting to pretty good at lip reading. So E, Emmy, Emmy. Okay, nice, nice. Let me look at that word, how it looks to other people. So if you were just looking at that word randomly at your number 3, and if you were just somebody who hadn't had this class, who's looking at that word, would they wonder if is that Emmy, is it Amy, is it MA, right? They might have all sorts of unknowns, questions about that word, but you now know how to figure it out. You know, just by looking at those double M's, that E is going to say eh. You know, just by looking at that EY, it's going to say E, Emmy. You are gaining some really useful reading skills that I wish more people had. You can teach them now. Please teach the world. Okay, I'm going to do my number 4. That E doesn't have any kind of hint with it, so I'm going to leave that there and come back to it. This E, double E grapheme, we know says E. Same with this EY grapheme, we know says E. I'm just going to put a line over it, but you could mark it with an E with a line over it. That's especially handy if you have different vowels in a word. So you would put an A with a line over it or an E with a line over it if you want to remember what those vowels say. However, in this lesson, we are only working with E's, so I'll just put it just to be consistent. Be inconsistent. I want this to be really clear. So these are going to say the E sound, long E sound. Okay, so when I blend it, it's oh, I don't know what that guy says. Let's figure it out. So we have to tap 2. 1, 2. No, there's not another vowel. No, it's not going to say its name. It's going to say eh. That wasn't so hard. Now we can do it. E. That's a lot of sounds, and I don't want to mess this up. So I'm going to go 2 letters at the beginning and then 1 letter at a time. Fur, fre, frem, fremp, fremple, fremply, frempline, fremplini, fleeny. Did you do? Was that one hard? Yeah, that one was hard. Well, your number 4 is even harder, but don't worry, I'll help you. Okay, let me see what my chat is here. Oh, nice, you're getting it. Okay, I'm gonna scoot this over a little bit. Go ahead and figure yours out, and I'll mark it with you. Okay, if there's going to be a hard sound in this word, it's going to be this guy. That guy's the one that you're going to want to hold on to, okay? So when we pencil read it, it's full n. There's that ter, making sure it's not chur. E, n, d, e. I'm going to blend it slowly. Pull, ple, plen, plent, plenter, plentry, plentrine, plentrined, plentrindy. Yay! That was amazing. Good job if you got that. Plentrindy. Wow, we haven't had a hard one like that one in a long time, and I'm seeing a lot of cheers on the screen, so that is super fun if you got that. Well done. Okay, let's come down to, actually, I want to just hear from you in the chat. How are you feeling about applying what you are learning in the real world? Has anybody had any instances where you have been able to apply the tap 2 rule or any of these reading hacks that we have been learning in the real world? If so, Adama says, I do every day. Wow, that's amazing. Susan says yes. Ben says yes, he has too. Nice, nice. Con says I use it every day now. Wow. Brenda is yes, and I'm reading every night. And somebody else says yes, me too. Yes, I use it too. That's amazing. Nice, Sandra. Nice, Mark. Rochelle, yes. Oh, good. Yes, I have applied it. Wow, that is wonderful news. So this is transferring over into the real world. That is wonderful. Well, let's look at your extra practice and tell me what number you want me to do with you, just in case one looks hard and you want to make sure that you pronounce it correctly. Which one would that be? And I'll do it for you. Put it in the chat. 4. Okay, we're getting lots of 4s. Okay, let me get my pencil back out. Okay, so we're going to start with our double E, which we know says E. I'm going to circle this guy. I have to go figure him out with the tap 2. And I know that this is going to say the long E sound also. That's what we learned today. EY at the end of multisyllable words says E, as in turkey. So when I blend this, when I pencil read it, CH is its own grapheme. It says ch. There's only air that comes out when you say the CH sound. It's only ch. No sound, only air. Ch. E. Oh, what does he say? He's going to say because of the tap 2 rule. S, T, E. So I shouldn't have stopped in the middle of blending that, but I do want to point out that the K is also a voiceless sound. No voice comes out when you make a K sound. Only air. So let me start over. Ch, E, O, S, Cheeklesty. 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 Any question? Let me look and see what else I have here in that. I used the tap 2 rule for lapidary, but it did not work. Yeah, you will find some exceptions. So let me just show, I'm going to stop this and I'm going to show what happened in that one, lapidary. I love it when you bring me words that you see in the real world that either followed or did not follow the real world, the rules that we are talking about, so I can explain why. Okay, so if you have words like that, bring them and put them in the chat at the very beginning when I ask for questions, or you can stay at the end, or when I ask for questions, you can bring them up. So in lapidary, the A is just a rule breaker, but I wanted to tell you about the I and the AR, just as fun facts. Don't worry about remembering this. It's just an end of class fun fact. I's are almost always going to say eh. And especially in the middle of longer words, family, hospital. Whenever you see an I in the middle of a multisyllable word, I can almost guarantee you that it's going to say I can't think of an instance when it won't. So I is a very consistent rule breaker in the middle. It will almost always say it. We're going to go over I in depth. I think it's next month in December. So I'll teach you all about I. AR will say air if there's a Y after it. That's why that says airy. That's a common word ending. The A just is a rule breaker. So lapidary is just a hard word, Mary. I don't know why the A doesn't say A. It looks like it should, but there's just some words that break the rules. But for the I and the AR, those two vowels and graphemes do follow phonetic rules. So going back to our letter or grapheme for the day, words that end in EY, can anybody think of any that you will encounter in the real world? Let me see the real world, because we're living in nonsense word land over here. If you can, put them in the chat so we can see a whole bunch of examples of how you will see this when you go out. Yep, I got monkey. Any other? Just let me look. Oh yeah, money. I didn't think of that one. He actually follows the. Let me put this back here. He actually follows the rule, which is odd because it should say K. Money, yeah. No, these are hard. I spent a few minutes before class trying to come up with some. I got a few. Jockey, chimney. So when you see EY at the end of a longer word, it's going to say E. All right, so good luck on your homework. I have a feeling you're going to do remarkable because of all of that. It just seems like it's getting easier to you. Like some of you, I think, don't even have to use your pencil for the tap 2 rule anymore. You've been doing it so much, you can just kind of look ahead and already know what that letter is going to say. You've come a long way. That's exciting. No class next week. Happy Thanksgiving. I'll see you a week from Monday. Feel free to stay after if you have a question. Otherwise, I'll see you in a week. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.